from my end, one last thing that I think would be helpful to our listeners. You brought up in your talk here at our seminary how to deal with those who take up this woke ideology. And you gave us maybe three categories to think about persons that fall into these ideologies, and use that word, the project, right? So to not view people as political projects, right? But when entering into real communion, if we are serious about drawing people into reality, into love, this dynamic of love, then it's to take that person serious. And in line with that, kind of, could you make for listeners this distinction, right? If somebody takes up the woke ideology, it doesn't mean they're just terrible animals. They hate everything, whereas there might be some that actually do have this instrumentalized view of how they're going to carry out these ideologies, right? There are many who are just victims, but there are also, like you said earlier, people who are just trying to do the best thing they know how to do in dealing with their kids who are experiencing these difficult realities, and as well as kind of men and women in general in their own lives experiencing identity crisis. Kind of, how do you categorize and deal with people who have these?
No, it's a good question. I think we have to not have a blanket response to, the ideology or the people who are espousing it because, for one thing, it's not Christian and it's not effective. It's one of the reasons why I don't like, people making fun of, people who are, deluded by this ideology. There's a trend of showing people online who have become patsies for it and sort of making fun of them. And I guess I understand that they're trying to, show that this is not normal, but it to me, I think it's reductive of the people. And we want to invite them we want to remove obstacles for them to take an off ramp from the woke movement. And so one of the ways that we do that is by realizing that they're not all complicit or culpable. That if you're a 16-year-old person, maybe you've had some abuse, maybe you're dying for an identity, maybe you want to belong, and then an ideology comes in and promises you all these things, even if they're lies. It's very human to grab onto that when you're so desperate for it. And so I think that there are people who are real victims of the movement. I think there's another category of people who are sort of probably maybe should know better, but they're just sort of social justice warriors, and they just think that must be how what compassion looks like. And there can be some complicity. It's not ours to judge, but we can lazily walk into an ideology and not think critically about it. And so, that's our bad if we've done that. But one of the ways we reach them is, I think we become the trusted friend who they can, once they are starting to rethink things, they can come to us without feeling like we're going to shame them or make them eat crow or make them feel like, now I'm humiliated because you were right, I was wrong, and so we want those friendships to be richer and be more about them as a person, as you were saying earlier too. And then I think there are the people who are sort of just far more complicit, far more architects of the movement, who are organizing things and, pushing this transgender stuff and funding it and, pushing that on people. And, hopefully they can be helped and healed in some way, but first and foremost, they have to be stopped. And so, I think that we have to have that sort of nuanced approach that is nimble, and is addressing the person in front of us, not just an ideology that we want to defeat.